people, working. I mean, there are, taking care of the little guy,
right.
But they don't do that. I mean, they don't truly address that.
But they taxed it. But one thing about they taxed the hell out of you.
There you
they keep
go.
talking about socialism.
But that's the idea, and that's what I've been trying to bust in to say for a while, is that, education is not free. Healthcare is not free.
Right.
But when you're talking about these societies, be they in Europe or, sporadically dispersed throughout America, or, used to be, you only had to pay $25 a semester for a world-class education at a state university. That was all because of taxes.
Right.
And things get reduced so much that people just, taxes bad.
Right.
But we are paying taxes. And
we are.
The question comes down to, what do you want your tax money used for? Do you want it to be used to help provide medical care for your fellow man, for your neighbors in your community? Do you want it to be used to build better roads? Do you want it to be used to provide education? Or would you like your tax dollars to go right into the pockets of the major corporations? Do you want tax incentives and tax cuts for corporations to bring, if you look at what's going on in Wisconsin specifically, the amount of money that Wisconsin is tax dollars paid into the state by residents of Wisconsin, the huge amounts of money are going to Foxconn, the folks who build components for Apple computers and gadgets and phones and what have you. To get that factory, the Republican governor of Wisconsin is giving Foxconn, I think it comes out to around more than $100,000 for each job that they create. So this is money that, and yeah, they are going to create some jobs, but at what cost? Isn't this money better spent on healthcare, on education, on the things that are going to make Wisconsin and society better?
They are, but they already did the articles on would Apple, would these companies that come in, or Amazon, and they say, okay, if you go, the Amazon is in San Bernardino, they're paying those people $12.25 an hour. Now, Stater Brothers, who has a union.
Now, wait a minute. And I realize we're mixing companies here, but company gets $100,000 per job,
right?
And they're paying $12.25 an hour. That, even in a year, that isn't going to add up to $100,000.
Right, and I'm saying that their taxes that the company pays, that Amazon pays in California, is 13% on taxes. They don't even. It's supposed to help rebuild the community. The mayor of San Bernardino was like, "Yay, Amazon's coming!" And then all of a sudden, when he saw over as time went by, you're not really helping. They're the ones getting the deal.
Oh, absolutely.
The community is not getting what you think it should get. The roads should be better. The schools should be better, and the people are constantly being fired and let go because they can't keep up because they're working the shit out of them so bad for that $12.25 an hour.
And that's happened all over the country, all throughout history. I mean, that's the thing. And people are still saying, jobs, jobs, jobs. And they want these companies to come in and they think that they're going to be saved by them. And
but they can't have unions. That's why
they can't have unions.
And that's the reason why I was bringing up Stater Brothers. There was a guy that worked at Amazon that was doing the same type of work his brother was doing at Stater Brothers. Stater Brothers has a union. Brother's making $32 an hour.
Wow.
This guy's making $12.25.
Right.
And he can't keep up. They're working the shit out of him over there. He has to keep up with the quotas that they have. Amazon's got quotas, and they work your ass off. You're going to earn that $12.25 an hour.
Yeah.
You'd be better off working for UPS, loading trucks part-time.
Yeah. But what happens? Because I was talking about Wisconsin earlier. Let's look at Indiana, another Midwestern state, another state that voted for Trump. Their governor, who was it?
Pence?
Yeah, there we go. Mike Pence, the governor, now the vice president.
Yes.
But when he was the governor of Indiana, he helped see through a deal that gave immense tax breaks to Carrier Air Conditioning Company. And this was a big part of Trump's campaign, that we are doing everything to keep those horrible Mexicans from stealing jobs, which I've said this on the show before. I love the visual of like stereotypical Mexican banditos from, the old Good, the Bad, and the Ugly movies with the serape and the sombreros and the bandanas over their faces, sneaking over the border, going all the way up to Indiana and picking up the factory and carrying it down to Mexico because they're the Mexican thieves who are stealing our jobs. Yeah. It's a wonderful image, and evidently it worked because it helped get Trump elected. But the fact of the matter is, no, Mexico is not stealing these jobs. Carrier is stealing not just the jobs; they're stealing your tax dollars by taking those tax incentives and then moving their fucking factory down to Mexico anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Congratulations.
That's right.
Well,
That's right.
As a former Trump supporter, what I didn't understand is he said he was going to prevent jobs from going overseas. And, I like to deck out on Sundays in my Trump gear, my Trump tie, my Trump suit. And the weirdest thing is the other day I was looking at the labels, and they're all made in China and Indonesia. And it's almost as if a guy who produces everything overseas will not, in fact, be a good leader for bringing jobs back.
And
I learned that late, obviously.
Ultimately,
slow learner.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the problem is, and required reading for all the listeners, and this should be required reading for everybody, I think.
Can they get it on tape, though?
They may be able to. They might not need to. It's also available in the convenient form of one segment of a Simpsons Treehouse of Terror episode.
Perfect.
The story, The Monkey's Paw.
Yes.
Old story. Guy buys a monkey's paw at a market. It's you can make wishes, one for each of the fingers, but it turns out every wish has consequences. He wishes for, he wants to get $100,000, and his son works in a factory, gets killed, and he and his wife get a check for $100,000. My point being, we need to ask about the details. You need to dive into things. Trump said he is going to hire the best people. Only the best people are going to be working at the White House. Let's ignore the fact of the immense amount of turnover that has happened in the last year. I said on social media, if they hadn't spent so much time focusing on selling those MAGA hats, they wouldn't have wound up with so many leftover wife beaters. Yeah. Anyone who's worked in merch knows this. But it's all about getting the details. He said he was going to hire the best people. We should have asked, well, the best at what?
Yeah. Amorosa.
Because
Amorosa. So they when they finally fired her, they criticized her
racist
and their claim against her was she's been fired 4 times. Well,
by us.
They were fired. Yeah, you cannot count that. You can't say she was so bad we fired her, then we rehired her again, then we fired her, then we rehired her again.
My God.
How is that a count against her? It's a count against them, obviously,
right.
But we're living in this upside down world
That's
where not only does the monkey paw kill your son,
right,
but then you're like, thank God that my son died.
Right.
Thank God my,
Right.
I'm
and
so
then
glad.
The monkey paw grabs your pussy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's right.
Well,
because that's what we do nowadays.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Me too.
What a world. What a world.
Oh God.
The
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
exit stage left, or maybe stage right this time. And as we quote the great philosopher Snagglepuss, it is time for us to exit stage left just about. Once again, we have not solved any of the problems of the world, but I'd like to think that we did offer a little more perspective on them. And
we showed that there are some intelligent people in the world.
Yeah.
Spending their Saturdays having a deep
Fighting a good fight.
conversation.
Yeah. We are giving up part of our Shabbos just for you.
Yeah.
This is the sacrifice that 1.5 of us are making. But I do want to thank our panel. I want to thank everyone for coming in. Let's do the rundown. Lenny, do you have anything coming up that you'd like to promote?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm doing a show called Comedy Nation at the Fanatic Salon. It's $5. It's at 4 p.m. We've got a great lineup. Kathy Ladman, Carrie Snow. It's going to be great. Me, Roger Michael. It's all political comedy. So, yeah. So
And
Nice.
where's the venue?
Fanatic Salon.
Which is
Sawtell.
like Culver City?
I think so, yeah. It's on 3815 Sawtell Boulevard. Yeah.
Right on. And people can find you online?
Yeah, you can find me online, Lenny Shelton, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah.
There you go. Google them if you couldn't figure all that out. Thank you very much, Lenny. Jessica.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm at the Comedy Store every Sunday night.
Really?
In the Cadillac Sundays. Sunday night at 8 in the Belly Room. It's a fabulous show. It's super fun. It's intimate. We have a great time. What else? I have a web series, Knocking on Doors. You can see it sorry. Okay, let me start over. www.knocking-on-doors.com. Yeah, thank you so much.
Right on. Absolutely. Thank you for coming in. Jim Coughlin.
All I know is that on March 19th, I'm at Barney's Beanery in Pasadena.
Okay, I was going to ask.
I
I've
didn't
done
even know
that
there
room.
was a Barney's Beanery in Pasadena.
Oh, they're all over the place.
Yeah, I performed
Apparently.
there, Jim. You'll like that. I don't know who's. I performed there before.
Oh, cool.
You'll like. I don't know who's running it still, but back then I did it. It's
Yeah.
good.
And Jim, where can people find you online?
Mr. Jim Coughlin, MrJimCoughlin.
In the original Gaelic, that was pronounced Coughlin.
Hey, don't do my stand-up. That's on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to see a photo every once in a while.
You don't post much though, Jim. I mean, we
Not
follow
on
each
not
other.
on Instagram.
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Something about straight men in their 40s that just.
Yeah.
Well,
at
I was
Politicon a couple of years ago, Lady Parts Justice was giving out little gold uterus tattoos. And Candace Thompson, who's hilarious in and of her own right, but she was working with Lady Parts Justice. She was working the booth at the trade show portion of Politicon. I walked by. She's like, "Oh, you got to do the tattoo." So we're talking while she's applying this tattoo, and she goes, "All right, now just promise me you're going to put that on your Instagram." And I looked at her. I'm like, I'm a straight white man in my 40s. What business do I have having an Instagram? It's weird. But thank you, Jim. Mr. Tymon, Shipp.
It's Tymon Shipp at Twitter and Tymon Shipp Facebook. No, I have nothing. I have nothing.
Once again, the white man holding you down.
I know. I haven't been around doing any stand-up lately.
Well, and one thing, as I make everything racial, I do want to point out, because we are coming towards the end of Black History Month.
Oh God! Again?
But for all of the folks on the right who like to paint African Americans as thugs, who like to say the football players and other professional athletes
Them
of
some
color
bitches.
need to shut up. They are sons of bitches who need to be fired. 2 words: white shooter.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you, Tymon. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Jim.
Thank
I
you,
am
Dave.
Dr. David Robinson. I can be found on Twitter at Stand Up Fall Down, on the Facebook, Dr. David Robinson, with the requisite periods in between the words and things. I'm the one who looks like me, so come find me. Find this show. We are on Twitter at Let's Be Treasonable, -2 E's, LETSB, and on Facebook, we got a page where we post the shows. If you liked it, please tell all your friends. Follow us on the social media. Listen to the show. If you didn't like it, keep it to yourself. You don't deserve us anyway. With that, thank you again to the panel. Will Durst will be back with us with a burst of Durst next week. I will be here. We will see you, as one does in the sense of a non-visual podcast where we don't actually see anyone who isn't in the room. But we hope you'll be back. We will. Have a good week. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everybody.